homes take a lot of work, and this one in Baltimore's Reservoir Hill neighborhood was no exception. Phil started the restoration in 2001, and then Gary joined in. Now they want to tackle the kitchen.
I found this house on a rainy day. I was living in Washington at the time, and I was interested in moving to Baltimore. I thought, well, if I'm going to pay over $100,000 for a house, it better have a garage and a fence and a yard for my dog. So I happened upon this house, and it answered all the questions. It had everything I wanted. I bought this house in 2001. I met Gary in 2003, and he moved in shortly thereafter. So there were some things that I did before he got here.
Right, because he had already went through all the stripping of the woodwork and all the molding, which I'm glad I wasn't around for that part. Then we started the top 2 floors when I moved in, and the yard also. Phil bought the house for $140,000, and since then we've spent $300,000 in renovations, and we're hoping to at least break even.
I would be much happier if we were north of $440,000 because we'd like to spend some money on the kitchen.
Right now the kitchen doesn't match the rest of the house at all.
I guess our only hesitation is the neighborhood is up and coming, but we aren't sure whether we're going to price ourselves out of the neighborhood.
Reservoir Hill was once one of the wealthiest neighborhoods in Baltimore. This neighborhood has undergone a renaissance as young professionals have come into this neighborhood to rehab houses, basically drawn by the large size of the homes and historical character.
Come on in, Chris. This is it.
This is our front parlor.
The first thing I noticed when coming into this room is the detail. In Reservoir Hill, the buyers that are going to be shopping in this area are going to be looking for this detail, so this is going to go a long way towards selling the house. The only critical comment I would probably have for this room is it's a little bit dark, so you may want to consider maybe changing the paint color to brighten it up a little bit. Now, how much did you spend in this room?
About $5,000.
Well, for that $5,000 that you invested in the property, I think you're going to see that $5,000 back in your pocket. I think you can also afford to pay yourself each $5,000 for a total of $15,000.
Wow.
All right, that's fantastic.
That's wonderful. Well, that's what paid off.
Yeah, it sure did.
Ouch.
Oh, this is the one room of the house we haven't touched, for obvious reasons. It's the most expensive room to redo.
The sheer size of the kitchen, it's small. It would make sense maybe for a small 2-story house, but for a house of this size, you truly want a bigger kitchen.
We have a pretty good plan.
Yeah, I would like to take out the back wall of the house, knock out this side wall to widen out the room enough for us to have a kitchen with an island in it, and also create an additional eating space. And I can't see this project unfolding for less than $150,000.
Creating a grander kitchen, you're more likely to get more of those dollars back. Definitely a must-do for this house.
Chris, this room is where we decided to have some fun. It used to be a very small bedroom. You really couldn't get anything in it, so we decided to take all the walls out.
In general, the rule of thumb is anytime you're taking away a bedroom, it usually depreciates the home. In this particular room, I really think it actually works. Today's home buyer that's going to walk through this house is going to want to have some kind of TV room where they can sit down. How much did you guys spend in this room?
We spent about $12,000 here.
For that $12,000 that you invested in this room, it adds another $25,000 in value to the house.
Great.
This is spectacular. Wow.
What we really wanted to build the room around was the laundry facility. It's underneath the island here. You fold clothes on top, and then you put them in the closets.
All I can say is wow. Any home buyer that comes into this house and sees this bathroom is definitely going to be blown away. I think you did an excellent job with the finishes. Natural stone's going to be very appealing. How much money did you guys spend in this room?
About $26,000.
I feel that you would get a return of roughly $35,000.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Oh, this is great.
With the built-ins around the bed, and of course, the required flat-screen TV and surround sound system.
Have to have that. I think you guys did a great job with this room. All these features are going to appeal to any buyer that's going to come in and look at the house. The only concern that I have, historic renovations are extremely expensive, and I'm sure at this point you guys are very aware of that. What you want to be careful not to do is to really over-improve for the neighborhood.
But there's still that kitchen to do. What if Phil and Gary have already gone overboard?
Are you sure you want to know the number?
Oh, we're ready.
We're ready.
Gary and Phil took on a historic fixer and are hoping they'll have enough equity to finally redo the kitchen.
First of all, I want to thank you for having me to your home. You guys did a wonderful job with this house. I'm very impressed. You did a wonderful job with the bathroom upstairs. I think any homeowner is going to be wowed when they see that bathroom up there. Second floor, great job in opening things up. The details that you were able to preserve during the renovation, fantastic job. You guys really did a good job of keeping the original flavor of the house while still renovating it. Now let's hit on the negatives. There's really only a couple of negatives. The first one would be the color choices. I think you'd be better served to do some things that are a little more neutral. The second thing that I think you really must do is to renovate the kitchen.
Phil and Gary's total investment in their home is $440,000, and they want to make sure that it's worth at least that before they take on the kitchen.
If I were to list this property today in its current condition, given the market that we're in, I would list it for $425,000.
Yeah, we've done too much.
That value is $15,000 shy of Phil and Gary's goal, but Chris has an important bit of information left to share.
But if you did the kitchen in today's market, I would list this house somewhere in the $550,000 to $600,000 range. And obviously, with all the momentum this neighborhood has, you could see those numbers go even higher.
We'll probably do the kitchen and stick it out.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Best of luck with the house.